The sun rose over Boston, casting a warm glow on the city below. At Logan International Airport, travelers bustled through terminals. Among them were the passengers and crew of United Airlines Flight 175, their destination Los Angeles. None could have known that this ordinary Tuesday would become a day forever etched in history. The Boeing 767 took off at 8:14 a.m., its wings slicing through the clear blue sky. On board were 51 passengers, including families and business people. 9 crew members ensured the comfort and safety of everyone aboard. The initial leg of the journey was uneventful. Passengers settled into their seats. Coffee orders were taken. A sense of normalcy prevailed. But in the skies above, a horrifying plan was unfolding. At 8:42 a.m., just 30 minutes into the flight, disaster struck. 5 terrorists armed with knives and box cutters stormed the cockpit. The hijackers, part of a coordinated terrorist attack, took control of the plane. They turned off the autopilot, their eyes fixed on a terrifying objective. The passengers, unaware of the true horror unfolding around them, clung to hope. Some made phone calls to loved ones, their voices laced with fear and uncertainty. Others prayed silently, their hearts pounding in their chests. Meanwhile, in New York City, people went about their daily routines. The Twin Towers, symbols of American capitalism and ingenuity, pierced the clear blue sky. Inside those towering structures, thousands of people worked diligently at their desks. The first sign of trouble came at 8:46 a.m. American Airlines Flight 11, also hijacked, crashed into the North Tower. The impact sent shockwaves through the city and beyond. News of the attack spread like wildfire. People gathered around televisions, their faces etched with disbelief and horror. At 9:03 a.m., the world watched in horror as United Airlines Flight 175, traveling at an estimated 590 miles per hour, slammed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. The impact, captured on live television, sent a shudder through the city. The force of the collision between the 77th and 85th floors created a massive fireball. Steel and glass rained down upon the streets below. Inside the South Tower, chaos and terror erupted. People screamed, desperate to escape the inferno. Some managed to flee down smoke-filled stairwells, while others were trapped on the upper floors. First responders, already battling the blaze at the North Tower, rushed to the scene. They faced a scene of unimaginable devastation, their courage and resolve tested like never before. The impact of Flight 175 was catastrophic. The world watched in disbelief as the once mighty towers, symbols of American strength, burned uncontrollably. The immediate aftermath of the attacks was a blur of chaos and confusion. Dust and debris choked the air, making it difficult to breathe. People ran through the streets covered in soot, searching for loved ones. First responders worked tirelessly, digging through the rubble, searching for survivors. The world watched, holding its breath, hoping against hope for a miracle. The collapse of the South Tower, followed shortly by the North Tower, sent shockwaves of grief and anger across the globe. The attacks claimed the lives of 2,977 people, including citizens from over 90 countries. Families were torn apart. Friendships were shattered. The world mourned the loss of innocent lives taken too soon in an act of senseless violence. The nation, united in grief and outrage, vowed to hunt down those responsible. President George W. Bush declared a war on terror and promised to bring the perpetrators to justice. Amidst the devastation and loss, stories of courage and compassion emerged. First responders, risking their own lives, raced into the burning towers to save others. Ordinary citizens became heroes, helping strangers escape the collapsing buildings. The stories of those who perished and those who survived serve as a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. One such story is that of Wells Crowther, a 24-year-old equities trader who worked on the 14th floor of the South Tower. Crowther, a volunteer firefighter, sprang into action after the impact. He helped evacuate dozens of people from the building, guiding them to safety while wearing a red bandana over his face to protect himself from the smoke. Crowther, who became known as the man in the red bandana, is credited with saving as many as 18 lives before he perished in the collapse. The story of Flight 93, the fourth plane hijacked on 9/11, is another testament to the courage of ordinary people. Passengers and crew members, aware of the attacks on the World Trade Center, fought back against the terrorists. The 9/11's attacks had a profound and lasting impact on the world. The attacks led to the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, as well as a global increase in security measures. The attacks also sparked a national conversation about Islamophobia and the balance between security and civil liberties. In the years since 9/11, memorials have been erected around the world to honor the victims and remember the events of that day. The National September 11th Memorial and Museum in New York City stands as a powerful reminder of the human cost of terrorism. The museum tells the stories of the victims, first responders and survivors, ensuring that their memories will never be forgotten. The legacy of 9/11 continues to shape the world today. The attacks serve as a reminder of the importance of unity, compassion, and resilience in the face of adversity.